Here's your Backstage pass.
Quiet on the set.
Action!
Welcome to Sedona's Backstage Pass with Chandra, presented by the Dahl Group. This is your inside look into culture, curators, and creative artists. And now, your host, Chandra.
Welcome, VIPs. I am so happy you're here with me this morning on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday. You've got your Backstage Pass, and you're in. And get ready for some really great behind-the-scenes stories that you never hear unless you tuned in here on Mellow Mountain Radio. That's right. Later to be on Apple Podcasts, and guess what? Even on Spotify. I'm so excited about that. I'm going to keep you posted on that, all right? Now, I got a great show for you. Let me tell you, we've got my presenting sponsor, Lisa Dahl from the Dahl Group. Thrilling. I'm excited about that. And my husband/partner, creative partner for years and years and years. We did concerts together. Tom Jepperson is with me in the house. I'm so excited here at KAZM 106.5 FM and 780 AM. I always forget the FM and AM part. It's important, you know. So I want to just tell you about what is happening here right now in Sedona, which we're in the middle of summer. There are things happening, but I think it's probably best for you to take a look at these calendars and these websites to find out what is really going on. Because, quite frankly, in the middle of July, it's kind of funny. So here, I want to mention some of this stuff. And even in August, same thing, right? Here we are. Okay. The Greater Sedona Chamber of Commerce Tourism Bureau website. You got to visit it. It's visitsedona.com/events/calendar. When you go to visitsedona.com, you're going to see everything that's going on. Now, of course, the really huge events start happening in the fall, starting in September. So you're going to want to plan. Those of you coming in as tourists, those of us who live here, you want to plan also because you're probably going to have friends and family visiting. And maybe you just want to go do something for yourself as well. So check it out, visitsedona.com/events calendar. Also, now for those of you who are looking for something to do, something crafty, something fun, find the artist in yourself, visit SedonaArtsCenter.org, and they have a list of classes that you can take. I've taken ceramics there for years, and I love it. The other one you want to check out is SedonaFilmFestival.com because they have an array of indie films. I'm so excited because I'm going to tell you later about the one I'm co-producing, but I will get to that in a minute. Now, SedonaFilmFestival.com has all the listings of the films, the events, everything that they're showing, and they've got concerts too. They are now a theater, so there are theater productions as well. And they have something really cool during the summer called Movies on the Move, and there is a list of those things happening. And the other one I want to kind of point you to is CommunityLibrarySedona.org. They are doing so many awesome things there. They've got the summer program going on right now for kids. I think they're just wrapping that up. You might have one more you can go to with your kiddos. And they've got line dancing and Zumba and all kinds of different clubs that use the community room. Check them out. Remember, CommunityLibrarySedona.org. So those are the things, those are the sites you want to visit to find out what is going on here right now. Okay. I am so thrilled. I'm thrilled to have my presenting sponsor is in the house. Oh my gosh, from the Dahl Group, Chef Lisa Dahl. Oh my gosh, thank you for being here. You're so busy, and that you're here is wonderful.
Your energy is so contagious. It's like a drug. I'm like the moth to the flame. I just want to pick up on Chandra energy. Let's get it going, baby.
God, do you look great.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, if we had cameras here, you've got this Marilyn Monroe thing going on. And you know what? I got to tell you, she's wearing shorts, all right? But like, this top you're wearing and the diamonds around your neck.
Oh my
gorgeous.
God. Well, you make me sound very bourgeois, and I'm not.
But you
this
look
happens
fabulous.
to be, thank you. It's hard for me to take a compliment.
Because it's a very casual outfit, everybody, but she looks great.
Oh, thank you.
You wear it well.
Thank you.
God.
You know, it's all in the foundations, as they say. And when I get a top like this, which is a camisole.
Yes.
and I can wear it. I can put a layer over it. That's the name of the game at this time of year when it's sweltering hot out there.
Oh my gosh, it's so hot.
And linen, I'm beginning to love linen even though it wrinkles like crazy. I discovered that you can just wear it, throw it in the washer on cold and delicate, put it in the shower when you're trying to get the wrinkles out. And I discovered that in my travel when everything looked like a sack of potatoes, and I just turned on the steam naturally, and the wrinkles just fell out. So a tip from Eloise Lisa.
I was going to say, this is good. This is good stuff. You didn't know that you were going to hear tips about how to handle your wrinkles in your linen, did you, today? No, this is wonderful news. I like this.
You know what I'm doing, Sean? I'm doing things. I'm starting to think about what I call the hooks. And we all love the hooks.
Yes,
the
we
hooks
do.
are what give us the little remedies of how to fix something that might seem like a big deal. And a little unknown secret about me is I am a laundry fanatic.
Are you kidding me? Okay, do
I
you
will not
like
let
doing...
Scott. I love doing laundry.
Oh, okay. You know what I love about laundry?
No.
I love the sound of the washer as it's doing its thing. I don't know what that is. It's a childhood thing. Now you know a little secret about me.
I don't love that. That is
you don't love that part, but I do.
Yeah, well, I love
together,
you for loving that.
So together, we got laundry going on,
Exactly. So let me tell you what I love about it. As a chef, I get a stain a day, or 2 or 3 or 4.
Yes.
Also, as a person that loves eating out and loves red sauce, sometimes I wear something white. I look down, oops, you get a spot. Well, there's do's and don'ts. And I have learned how to salvage things that could be ruined with little tricks. One little trick I'll give to somebody that gave me this, it was Kathy Stevenson.
Okay, good.
Is Nell's, it's called Fels Naphtha. I think it's called Fels Naphtha, and you get this bar, and this bar, you get it wet, and you rub it on your stain, and you just let it set, and then you put it in the washer in the right temperature, of course, which is half of it. People put hot water, and they lock in the stain. I do cold water, and you've saved another garment.
Okay.
And to me, it's a big deal as a chef, and sometimes I say I feel like I could have 10 kids at home because I do laundry incessantly. But it kind of becomes another form of art when you do something and you do it right and you don't shrink it up and you don't destroy clothing. You know what I mean?
I'm really happy to hear this. My husband is going to be thrilled knowing this because every time he eats, it ends up on his shirt. And by the way, my creative partner, Deb Ross, if you're listening, that woman... The two of them together, oh my gosh, you'd think you'd had like 2 5-year-olds.
Like you can't take them anywhere,
you can't
right?
take them anywhere.
And you can't take them to Italian especially.
Oh, no, forget it. No, forget it. I mean, it would just be like, wow, there's tomato sauce everywhere on everything. So anyway, good to know. All right, this is great. So I did not expect this. I love the fact that you're telling us these things. You know, you have been, tell us one more time. I have to wrap my mind around this. How long have you been a professional chef?
Well, it's even hard for me to say that I'm a professional chef.
I know you are a professional chef.
As a restaurateur and chef, I've been doing this for nearly 30 years.
Okay.
Dahl and Toluca turns 30 in December, and that will be a milestone. And I want everybody to know about that might want to attend a gala because 30 years is a biggie. But that being said, I had always loved cooking at home, and I've expressed this many, many times. I did catered events, and I used to do things, but it wasn't my profession. When we came to Sedona and found our first location, I started taking the things that I had always done at home and scaling it up to a larger amount. One day, all of a sudden, look at my soup pot. It's gigantic. I mean, but I've never had one of those tilt pots, which I'm dying to have, but I've never had a kitchen big enough where you have a pot that you can do like hundreds of gallons in one time.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's really...
This is something you do not want in your kitchen. Okay, I don't even know how you clean something like... Talk about cleaning.
It's cleaning. Well,
that's enormous.
It's a professional thing that they do in the co-packing business. And to be honest with you, that might be another segment, but I actually tried to do my own products in a co-packer, and I paid to play all of a sudden, they didn't have the ability to do my products and do them right. So I was cooking my own stuff.
What?
But what was interesting is that I learned how the bigger companies reduce their sauces and their soups and things. It was very educational.
Wow.
Also, it was a really good way to lose a lot of money really fast.
I bet. My gosh. You're like, there it goes.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Well,
But just-
you lose some money by thinking that getting things in bottles is easy. It's big cost. It's really part of what I'm trying to do now with the engineering of the Soup Hope. And we went to a company that engineers products for big companies and for chefs all over the world.
Wow.
And it was so educational. But to get a product into retail, you want the best quality and the replication to taste as close to your product as possible. And it's all chemistry, and it fascinated me. So on our recent trip that we took, which was all of 5 days, we ended up at Berkeley in one of these places that does the engineering so that when your product goes into either a bottle or a frozen form, whatever form you choose, it is done properly. And they find you the co-packers that can do the best job to get it as close to what you're trying to achieve. For instance, my Soup Hope is all organic. All the vegetables come right from Arizona. Now, will I be able to do that when I finally get the product into a bottle? Maybe it'll be organic, but the sources will be from other areas. I don't have the ability to research all those things myself. So that becomes a very necessary step, but a very costly step.
Right. And there's also a lot of trust that goes with that. Am I correct?
Absolutely, yes.
I mean, this is one of those moments where if you want to get your delicious food, your sauces, the soups out, I know you're also working on a wine label right now, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but what you have to kind of give it up, right? You have to trust and give it
Well,
to a degree. I mean, you're going to be overseeing it.
Yes.
But when it goes into where they're really making just, I mean, large and large amounts for product, to go into
Exactly.
groceries or different places, different
Absolutely.
boutique groceries. You have to kind of let go, don't you?
Well, you do, but then again, what I learned when I went to this particular company is that you are there through every step of the way.
Oh, good.
In other words, they're doing the research, we're away, but when it's time to start doing the tastings, we go back. And that process is a very serious process,
I
and
guess.
it doesn't happen in one or two times. So there's a lot to it. The way we as chefs think of our products, we can make them in our own kitchens, and we know we have 100% the quality that we want over the trial and error. But when you start to do large volume, you're not going to have all your same sources. So you do have to trust that they know a lot more than you do and have done this many, many, many times for other companies. And they know where are you going to get the serrano chilies? Where are you going to get the spices? Because I'm very spoiled here. And after 30 years, I have worked with the purveyors. For instance, I'll give you an example. I work with a very well-known spice company called Mount Hope. Well, all the years I've been in business here, I've used Mount Hope spices.
Okay.
Why? Because they're the purest, they're the most fresh, and I didn't know I was going to do a Mount Hope commercial.
gonna say.
But when you do, you know that it's your chilies, your cumin, your turmeric, everything that you use is the highest level. Now, are they going to use that level? Because that also has to do with the flavor that you get and the aromas and the layers. So this company is very, very good. They're the best probably in the business, and we research them very well. But they will allow me to use some of my own specifications.
That's wonderful.
But they know a lot more than I do. So that's... And it's fascinating because it's just another layer of learning about food chemistry and how to not mass produce, but to expand your production, but yet keep your quality retention.
That's very exciting, by the way.
It is.
I'm
It's
thrilled.
a big
I'm
thing.
sure there's a lot of listeners here wondering, what is that product you're looking at? doing that with?
Because doing this, the engineering part, before you even go to the co-packer, it's a very expensive part of the project.
Right.
That being said, it's a necessary one. And so it's Soup Hope and the mother sauce, which is our foundation marinara. The mother sauce also gives the flavor and the nutrients into the Soup Hope. So because it's very expensive to do this process, I can only do 2 products and afford it, because anymore we can't afford it. And that is why we will be doing fundraisers for the foundation, because the end goal is to have these products in the best form that they recommend. Personally, I like the old-fashioned curd jar look, because you can see what you're getting.
Yes.
And you can write your message, and you can have a beautiful label. We've been working on all aspects. We've been working on the label design, which has to be nifty, because if you're the new kid on the block and you make it into the retail, your label has to be expressive so that people go, well, what is this?
Yeah, it has to
curious.
pop, right?
It has to pop.
Yeah.
And on the back will be the message of why the foundation. So I've had that story in my mind for so many years. I so much want to see it manifest. I'm sorry if I start to tear up.
No. I'm going to tell you.
It has to happen.
I can feel it. It's
Thank
happening.
Thank you, Chandra.
I listen to you talking, and I see the passion, and I see how emotional it is for you, and how much you want that. And you've manifest so many wonderful things. I mean, let's just talk about the fact that Cucina Rustica, like for instance, okay, which is, by the way, in the village of Oak Creek, phenomenal restaurant, and you're going on your 10th anniversary with that?
No, that is 22.
22 years. Oh, I'm looking right at
Yeah.
it is.
No,
right
but
on the page.
22 years seems like 10
years.
So
My
that's a
God.
funny thing. It does seem like it was yesterday, but I'll never forget the feeling I had. I can still feel it in my bones when I would go from Dahlin to Lucca, which I was had for 9 years before Cucina was going into its construction. Now, it's important for people that do know me around here to understand this. A lot of people say, oh, it's an empire, or, oh, you just wanted to build all these restaurants. These were large spaces of time in between each restaurant. So I worked in the kitchen, literally, at D&D for the 9 years, and then took my act on the road over to the village. But what was so exciting about opening and building Cucina Rustica was the antique things that make it a timeless restaurant. The beams, the doors, the gates that were salvaged from different places. I went to different sources, and they were all put in storage unit at the time in the village. And when we started to break ground, we were one big open space. And this will be fun for people that really know Cucina to envision that there were no walls, gates, or any dividers. So here was this gigantic open space. It's about, I think, 55 to 6,500 square feet. It is not a small restaurant like D&D.
Right.
And so for the first time, I'm getting to design with an architect. It was a woman architect, very, very talented, but she and I went shopping. And then she took my vision and fit in the doors, the gates, the columns, all that is, to make it be what I wanted was to look like a villa. Then you get into the other fun parts of working with artisans that did the trompe-l'oeil and the various things to make it really look old. And that would be an entire segment if I told you what went into the making of Cucina Rustica, because you walk in, and I've got a tagline there.
Okay.
And I've had it since I envisioned the restaurant is, the doorway to the imagination awaits you. Because it's all doors and gates, which are a portal to our soul.
I know. I love this restaurant. I love that restaurant.
I know, it's so...
I love the atmosphere of it.
Yes.
And I remember when I first walked in there, I was just so blown away. Tom and I actually did an event. I'm trying to remember. It was in the very beginnings, and I just was floored. The food is phenomenal. Anybody coming into town who's hearing this right now, you have to go to Cucina Rustica. It's very difficult to choose from the restaurants because they're all fabulous. I just love the atmosphere of that one.
Thank you.
I do feel like I'm in a villa.
Yes.
It almost feels like it's outside.
And it
almost has
it
that
is.
feeling.
Well, the center court or the center room, which is dedicated to Justin, I call it the Giardino de Justino, which is the garden of Justin, which has the fountain inside.
Gorgeous.
With the ceiling over that has the stars, which represent the constellations.
I know. I just feel like I'm outside with that. It's it's
and,
the best.
And it was meant to be that you're transported. So am I inside? Am I outside? Am I in a piazza that I visited in a past lifetime? Where am I? That's what I wanted to do. And I like to do in our restaurants is for a moment in time, you're in a little state of whimsy. Where am I? Am I in Sedona? Where am I? And that it's a smoke and mirrors, but it's something I love so much. I can't even really express.
No, I'm going to tell you that is you've accomplished that there, and also Mariposa. Tom and I have been there a few times. I'm going to tell you something. Not only is this a great restaurant, I remember the first time we went. Somebody had given us a gift for,
Yes.
I think we had done a performance or something, and we're there. And it was just beginning, it was the sunset. And because here's the deal, when you go there, you guys, you have to tell them you want a picture outside. When those red rocks go golden, it's incredible. And the servers, the people that are there for you, and it's a crew of people, by the way,
Yes.
they will take pictures of you out there. You feel it's such a special thing. And as the evening was coming, and I have to tell you this, I could not tell if I was outside or I was inside. It was a wild experience. It felt like the outside was inside the restaurant.
Yeah.
Again, another environmental aspect of this
It's
restaurant.
like a bit of a.
Wow.
It's a bit of a. It plays with your senses.
It does.
It's an interesting
It is.
thing because when you're at Mariposa, no matter if you're in the very outer part of the patio,
I love that patio, by
because
the way.
of the way the mirrors are in the inside of the furthermost dining room, no one escapes having a sense of the view. And it was very purposeful, but very like magic in a way. It's like a trick with using the mirrors. I would stand in the threshold of the dining room and I found a mirror down in, I believe it's in Tucson. It's a massive mirror and it is so stunning. It's just,
I know which one you're talking about. It's gorgeous.
epic. And in the juxtaposition of where that mirror is, it allows you to see in every angle of view. It's very tricky with your eyes.
It's incredible.
May I say this one thing though?
Yes.
I want you to. I know. I so appreciate everything that led to Mariposa, especially knowing that we're in the 10th anniversary right now, and the month of the 10th anniversary, and all the deja vu and everything that comes up to me is so much. It floods my emotions because I remember back to when my mom and I would sit there. And there was no windows. There's just open spaces. And we'd sit there and we had these really funky chairs that I bought for Pisa Lisa, West Sedona, right? The metal chairs, like the director chairs, but these were all beat up. And we'd have our two chairs and we'd sit in that window threshold and we'd say, now, if we could only do this and if we could only put this on some art here, and then we fantasized. And to have that memory when my mom was alive, and she's really the reason that I ended up doing what I did at Mariposa. And the reason is that she thought it was just the most gorgeous property you could ever imagine. But we drive by and she'd go, someday you should have a restaurant there. And I'm like, Mom, give me a break. Come on, Mom. That's not going to happen. And it was almost like her will that made it happen. But I want to tell you, there's an entire segment around the building of each restaurant. But I do want to go back to one thing. D&D is what made it all happen. And everybody here in this town knows that. And Dahl and DeLuca, if you realize it was a Sonic Burger and you walk into it now and you look at the beauty of that restaurant, you haven't been in for a while. I know that you've been real busy.
Yeah.
You will come back. But with the beautiful Venetian plaster that I was able to do with this local, wonderful gentleman that is a genius, and the way that we continually evolve. And I've got things coming in the fall that we will talk about when we get closer to the anniversary.
Yeah, I have to tell you something. I am always so excited to have you here, and it goes by so fast.
I
We're
know.
at the very end.
And I'm a talkaholic.
You know what? I love the fact that you create these environments, these atmospheres, these experiences with your culinary, incredible, delicious food. It's like so incredible. So we have to wrap it up, but oh my goodness. If you want to know about what Chef Lisa Dahl is all about, please visit Chef Lisa Dahl. That's DAHL.com. Okay. ChefLisaDahl.com. And you could see what's going on. And
join our newsletter. Our newsletter is amazing. You sign up right through that, but also Instagram, Lisa Dahl Sedona, and Facebook. We would love to have you follow us. It's a treat because I'm going to be doing new videos on my YouTube called The Chef's Hooks. And I've done a few, and people learn little tricks for the summer salads. I'm getting ready to do a salad series.
We're going to leave you with that and stay with us. Thank you, Chef Lisa, for being here. Oh, my gosh.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next month. And you guys stay with me, okay? Be right back.
Need a clean car fast? Come to Quicker Cleaner Car Wash. We'll have you sparkling and back on the road in just minutes. Whether you're after a quick shine or a deep clean, you'll get top quality service, eco-friendly soaps, and smiles all around. Drive up, shine up, and feel good, all without slowing down your day. And look like a star in your car. Located in West Sedona on Highway 89A. For more information, visit QuickerCleanerCarWash.com.
You can taste it in every bite. For over 30 years, Chef Lisa Dahl has redefined what it means to dine in Sedona, serving soulful, handcrafted cuisine inspired by love, artistry, and community. From the wood-fired kitchens of Mariposa to the couture flair of Butterfly Burger, every experience is elevated, every ingredient intentional. To learn more about Lisa Dahl and the Dahl restaurants, please visit ChefLisaDahl.com.
Here's more of Sedona's Backstage Pass with Chandra, presented by the Dahl Group.
Thank you so much for staying with me. I am so excited about my next guest.
Woo! Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way.
Now, if you don't know who this man is, I don't know. All right? Because I'm going to tell you, I know him, and many of you know him from the many years that he was working at a performing ranch. That's the question is, do you know?
I don't know.
So you got to get a little closer here, and
all right.
I'm going to introduce him.
I mean, do I really know him?
He is my husband. He and I were known throughout this entire Verde Valley, especially Sedona, as Tom and Chandra, or Entertainment by Tom and Chandra. And he was at a performing ranch where he played the very lovable and very kooky Otis. That's right.
Sometimes we get mixed up, so you have to figure out who's Chandra and who's Tom.
Yes, because our voices are so similar.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for coming over. Thank you for
welcome.
being on the show. It makes sense. I mean, my show is, as you know, is about stories from behind the scenes. And I cannot think of anybody that I know that has the stories that you do. You see, a lot of people know that you've got this beautiful big voice, and also you were inducted in the Greater Arizona Country Music Association Hall of Fame with Waylon Jennings and Glenn Campbell and all those good guys. And that was back in, I want to say it was 2021.
That was a big honor.
That was a really big honor. How did it feel when that happened? They didn't even know that you sing things like Phantom of the Opera stuff and all of that.
No, because I didn't do things like that at the ranch.
Right, exactly. So they would never know, except for...
And I was mainly the comic relief of the show.
You enjoyed that, didn't you?
Very much.
It was really fun. You used to make people, oh my gosh.
Well, I came out with this crazy outfit looking like a hillbilly.
And I talk like this, of course.
But then I sang like I sang with "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning."
That's right. And bring the house down.
And after the show, I'd meet people. Kids would come up, and I'd say,
now you make sure you listen to your mommy and daddy, brush your teeth, because you don't want to look like me, because
I only had one tooth.
Yeah, blacked out teeth.
Everything was all blacked out.
It was quite good. It was hysterical. Well, so now let me ask you, I know that we used to do a lot of comedy, and I used to be kind of the comedian of the two of us.
You were.
But when you were doing that show, you were the comedian.
I was the comic relief, yes.
Yes, and I remember in the good old days when the Mabrys were, they owned that ranch, you had to get up way high on a ladder and come out way up top and do a whole shtick with the band where you interrupted them. And you had some harrowing moments up there, didn't you?
Well, I had fallen off a roof in California.
Yes.
So that wasn't that far back. So when this job came up for me, I thought, I don't know. I mean, do I want to climb up like 9-10 feet?
I know.
That's where it was.
I know. And you told me that one night you almost slipped off the ladder.
Well, no, what happened? One of the rungs broke.
Oh, God.
And I'm hanging there, swinging back and forth.
Good Lord. Unbelievable. And then there were spiders up there, all kinds of fun things.
I almost put my hand right into a black widow.
I think your alarm is going off.
Oh, is it?
It's all these wonderful things that happen on live radio. It's a good thing. I have to tell you, when you're in the business...
Don't be alarmed by my alarm.
Don't be alarmed by it. I have to tell you that when you're in the business that we're in, you're always setting your clock, always setting your alarm, everything, because you need to be places, like maybe on stage. Okay, now I want to ask you some things that people just don't know about you. First of all, tell everyone about your background with opera. When did you start training for opera?
Well, I started training vocally when I was 20 years old.
Okay.
And I'm now 82. So, that's like 62 years I've been a professional.
Right. And is it common that people can sing big like this at the age of 82? Tell everybody about that.
I don't know. I if you take care of yourself, I think it is. But not always, no.
Right, because your voice. We just did a show a couple of months ago, and wow, I was astounded. I'm always astounded by you.
I was astounded too.
You were also surprised.
Actually,
I love it. So now you did.
I astound myself.
Exactly. You did a lot of tours, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Tell me some stories about that. Tell everybody about the one where weren't you driving the van and something happened?
Okay, we were in Cody, Wyoming, and it was like wintertime, and we had to take this pass. I think they call it the Bighorn, 12,000 feet elevation at the top.
Whoa.
And I'm driving a van. Now, in those days, they didn't have snow tires, so you had to have chains.
Right.
Chains help you get out of snow, but they do nothing if you hit ice. So we were coming down, and all of a sudden I started fishtailing. Because we were skating. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't brake, otherwise we'd spin and probably go all the way down 12,000 feet.
Good Lord.
The girls in the back were screaming.
That would have been me.
And one of the tires, the front right tire, went off just as I could pull it back.
Wow.
At the last minute. So you have to keep your cool.
Yeah, you do. And, of course, then you had to perform that night. That was always fun.
Yeah, well.
You know, nobody knows how that goes. What's the most important thing? You used to tell me when you're touring, the most important things are?
Lodging.
Yes.
And food.
And food. Yes.
Because that's all you've got time for.
Right. So did you have to set up any sound gear at that time, or was it just everybody was doing opera?
Yeah.
Right. So tell everybody about the tours that you did do, and then tell me one of the most outrageous stories that happened to you in the theater, because you did so much.
Well, I worked for Chicago Lyric Opera. I've done Santa Fe, and then I toured across the nation,
right,
doing opera concerts,
right,
with musical comedy back to back.
Right, but you also worked with Dorothy Warenshold.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, and then you worked with Florence Henderson and her shows.
Well, no, actually, I worked with Ricardo Montalban.
Ooh. Okay.
And Florence Henderson in The King and I.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I get
I have
confused.
quite a story there.
Okay, tell us.
Well, I was playing the part of Luntha, who's the lover.
Okay.
And we sang a song called "We Kiss in a Shadow, We Hide from the Moon." And she had blonde hair. So they had her hair in a net, and they put a black wig on her. And we're supposed to be holding hands, facing each other and singing. And at one point, she gets up, and she starts moving away from me. Well, they gave me this brocade jacket to wear. And I was supposed to look like a Siamese, because I had Texas dirt on, by the way. And
oh, my God. Which is like, you never do that now.
Oh, man, when you
like,
do that, you just sweat. It just gets all over your sheets
yeah.
in your bed. But anyway, this one time, the wig got caught in the brocade.
Of your jacket.
Of my jacket. And had I not gotten up with her when she moved, it would have pulled the whole thing off, and there she would have been with a net and blonde hair.
And the wig is hanging.
Hanging on my brocade.
Lovely. Top. And what was that like when
So I'm sure she was looking at me saying, what is this idiot doing?
I love it. Was Ricardo Montalban wonderful to work with?
He was amazing.
Was he?
This is a man that has a memory I can't tell you, like a steel trap.
Wow.
There were about 60 some odd people or more in the show, and after the first, second day, he knew everybody by their first names.
My gosh. I know. I always envy people who can do that because I'm lost. You know, I do pay attention, but then there's a lot of people. It's really difficult to remember everybody's name.
Well, I've seen people, I've seen people around Sedona, even in California or wherever I was, say, oh, hi, Tom. I'm thinking, yeah, hi, how are you?
I know, that's difficult.
And I can't remember who they are.
See, now everybody listening is going to go, oh, my gosh, I hope he remembers me. Just kidding. Okay.
I remember you.
Yes, I remember you. Let me just say that singing with Tom for the many years that we have sung together, sometimes it's loud. It's loud. I mean, it's amazing, but it's like a Mack truck coming through my part of the stage. It's like, whoa. And I mean that in a good way. I mean, you've got an enormous, always an enormous voice, a big, beautiful voice.
I have my own built-in sound system.
Yes, you do. You do indeed. So tell me something. You have had some of the most outrageous things happen to you while you were on tour. Like, tell everybody about the one, was it in Philadelphia? What was that one where you saw something happen you shouldn't have seen? This is crazy.
No, when I was younger, in my 20s, and I would tour in big cities, whatever, I liked to get up early in the morning and walk because you could smell the dew and the trees and the flowers and all that, and it's great. Well, I made the mistake of doing that in Detroit.
Uh-oh, yeah.
And anyway, I'm walking there, and from where I'm sitting now in the studio to just a little bit further than where you are right now.
Which is about 5 feet away.
Or more. I think it was a little more than that, actually. Maybe
okay.
15, 20 feet.
15, okay. 15, 20 feet.
This guy walks up to this other guy, pulls out a silencer, and puts 2 bullets in his head.
Holy Toledo, And at that point, you're thinking...
Well, I don't know what to think, because all of a sudden he turns a gun on me. I'm thinking,
Oh, can we say that?
I don't know if I can.
I guess we can. You just did.
Blip it. And anyway, I said that, and I thought, this is it. And then he just kind of like shrugged and went, put his gun away and walked away.
My goodness.
Because I'm sure he was like a professional.
When you walked away from that, was that just like, oh my God, you had to have been thinking, thank you. I mean, I don't know what you think at that point. Were you just shook? You had been really shook up.
Well, it ended up being a PTSD thing later because I never really processed it.
My goodness.
I just got the hell out of there.
I guess. And you had other weird things. I've had weird things happen to you. For instance, you were starring in a show at the Americana Hotel in Puerto Rico. Uh-huh. And you were there for how long?
For almost a year.
Okay.
And until they burned it down. It was a pro-Castro movement, burned down the showroom and everything.
Okay. So can you imagine you have a stint at this big, beautiful hotel, and it gets burned down during a rebellious, like some sort of a riot or something. Okay.
Well, no, it was a radical movement that was against American businesses.
All right. Okay.
Anyway, what happened
Same
here
difference,
was
though. Like, really?
Our dressing rooms were in back of the kitchen.
Yes.
You go through the kitchen, then you go up the stairs. Well, this one time, I went into the kitchen and went up the stairs, and I'll hear bam, bam, like 2 gunshots. I said, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And come down and see this towel with this guy, and his face is all is blood. So obviously he was shot. It turned out that the cook ran after the chef with a butcher knife.
Whoa.
The chef got upset, went home, got a gun, and shot him.
Wow, just your everyday,
And the way the police
incident.
are there,
Yeah.
the guy was out the next day.
Wow, incredible, lovely. And then
So
the show
another
must go
time
on.
there-
The show must go on.
Yeah.
you know?
Now another time, I'm in my dressing room.
Yes.
Coming down, these two big guys come up to me and say, "Oh, the boss wants to talk to you."
Uh-oh.
I'm thinking, what's this? So I go over to this table, and this guy's got one gal on one arm and another gal on the other arm, and smoking a cigar. And he says, "Hey, kid, you're really good. Maybe we can do something with your career." Turned out he was in charge of the whole mafia operation in the Caribbean.
Oh,
Now, how do you say no to that?
I don't know. How did you say no to that?
Well, what happened is we were supposed to be there for like a year. We were there only 8 months because they burned down the showroom.
Okay, so that took care of that.
That took care of that.
Thank goodness.
So that
My
part
goodness.
was good, but losing the job wasn't so good at that point.
Did music always come easy for you, or did you work really hard at it?
No, music always came easy for me. I could always sing, even when I was very young.
Right. You sang in churches, right, when you were younger? Like,
Well, yeah, I did that, but my very first jobs professionally was singing in churches.
right.
Oh, here's one. I was singing at the First Presbyterian Church of Hollywood.
Okay.
At a congregation of almost 1,000 people or whatever. But one of the grinders was the actor Jimmy Stewart, or Jimmy Stewart.
Yes.
And I desperately wanted to meet him, but he would never come in because he was always doing movies.
Of course.
Well, anyway, one day someone said, "Tom, you have to sing for the Hollywood Christian Group." I said, "Well, what's that?" They said, "Well, that's a organization, that's of people who want to share their faith and earn the business." Okay. Anyway, so I said, "All right." So I go through the front door, and who do I meet? Roy Rogers and Dale Evans.
Ooh, yes, I remember
And they
you
were
telling me.
absolutely wonderful.
Lovely people, right?
They treated me like one of their family.
That was great. And you met a lot of Hollywood actors who were in silent movies that were older, of course. They were much older.
That was around the same time of when I was 20.
Yeah.
I went out to the San Fernando Valley in California.
Mm-hmm.
That's near Los Angeles.
Right.
And I was singing for Horace Heights Estates. And in the process of doing that, I met all of these old-time movie stars. Johnny Weissmuller, who played Tarzan.
Gosh.
Douglas Fairbanks Jr.
Wow.
And his mother, the very highest paid silent screen star of all time, Mary Pickford.
Isn't that incredible? It's amazing that you can say that you met these individuals. Who was it that you met and worked with that may have had maybe a bad reputation, but you got along with them, or anybody like that? Because, sometimes that happens,
I worked with
right?
Gene Barry,
Mm-hmm.
who had done,
Bat Masterson,
Matt
was it?
Masterson, also Burke's Law.
Ah,
And he was coming off of Burke's Law at the time that I worked with him as a warm-up act in Lake Tahoe. And they said, be careful of him. He's a problem. Well, when I met him, he was smoking a stogie cigar. And I actually brought this up to him later, and he said, he was kind of laughing and saying, no, you know what it is? When you're a star, you have to prove all the scripts because you want to make sure everything goes. Because if it fails, it doesn't work right, then the blame is on you.
that's right, because the buck stops
So
there.
he wasn't really difficult. Actually, he was wonderful.
Well, that's good
We
to know.
played a few rounds of golf and had a few drinks here and there and chairs.
Yeah, right. The other night we were talking about how we have some friends that they go on cruise ships. And nothing against cruise ships. Cruise ships can be
we've
fine.
both done that.
But we both have started our own shows in cruise ships, and never together, though. They didn't want to
Only
hire.
a couple of times.
Yeah.
Most of the time they didn't because they have some idea that man and wife fight.
Gee, do you think that's true? You should ask you've known somebody for a really long time. You don't fight ever. No, never any disagreements.
No.
Never. Well, what happened was I was working for the same group that you were working for on a
Right.
different ship. And then they said to me, if you want to go visit your husband for a week, just be in his show, do a couple of songs. So it was nice. It was a nice vacation.
Great.
That was fun. Because you were gone for close to 4 months.
Yeah,
and I
it's
came
like
out.
being in the service,
you know. It's so weird. It's like, bye, honey, see you next season.
Really?
It was strange, very strange.
It's very lonely.
But cruise ships are kind of funny animals, aren't they? I mean, I once had to be rescued from from an actual drill. It wasn't a fire drill. It was a ship drill. Where they bring the lifeboats down and all that. And here I am in one, and then, I don't know, something happened. It was one of those hard-shelled ones, and the motor blew up, and the guys that were steering this thing, piloting it, they were arguing, and then we all had to be rescued from the actual safety.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to,
don't mention names.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, I don't want to, rain on anyone's parade about taking a cruise ship.
Yes.
Because a lot of people do, and it's wonderful, I suppose. But the thing is, you don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you do these drills, they're not always that versed in what they should be doing.
That's the scary part.
And I'm not going to mention any cruise lines.
No, don't do that. We could have a problem. We don't want that. But I do remember you telling me on that one cruise ship that the comedian made some comment about everyone showering. Tell them the story about that. This is hysterical.
Well, no, what it was they actually take salt water and they desalinate it for drinking water.
Okay.
And one time they made a mistake and someone poured some fuel into the drinking water. So he made a mistake that someone lit up and blew themselves out of the bathroom.
Lovely. Nice. So, you never know what's going on a cruise ship. I would just tell you it's another community behind all of you having a wonderful vacation.
It's its own whole world.
It's its own whole world. Yes, we probably should leave it at that. So now, tell me, who was the star that you always wanted to meet and you had a chance to work with them? Was there anybody like that in the times that, because I know you've worked with a lot of different stars, but who was it that really...
Well, Howard Keel, for one.
Howard Keel. That had to be amazing.
Well, for me, I grew up with Howard Keel, Gordon McCrae, John Raitt, if people know who they are.
Huge musical theater stars.
They were huge stars, and I wanted to be like them. So I was working with Howard Keel, and then at one point he came up to me while I'm waiting to go out to perform and slapped me on the back and said, "Tom, you really got a great voice." And I almost wanted to drop because he didn't know how I felt about him. And I told him, I said, "Howard, you are my idol. For you to tell me that, you don't know what that means to me."
I know,
it's
really.
amazing.
It's incredible, isn't it, when that happens? And I remember working with Tom Scott, the
Yeah.
saxophonist. You used to hear him on Joni Mitchell records, and I used, as a teenager, I'd go, "Oh God, that sax
That was
guy."
a thrill for you.
Yeah, and then I ended up working with him. Was like on one of my originals a couple of times in Los Angeles. That was a turn, and there he is on a saxophone. It was amazing, and I know you've had so many things like that. What was it? Let me just ask you: did you work with Dorothy Warrensholt, or was
Yes.
she? You did. What was she like?
Very nice.
Was she?
Very prim and proper.
Because
Beautiful voice.
When I was in New York, at Juilliard, I sat in on an opera. It was like a last class kind of thing, and she was doing a master class, and their grade.
Well, she had a great voice.
Yes, and they would sing the aria, and then she would correct them, and their grade was they had to do it again, and they're singing in front of Dorothy Warrensholt. That's crazy. Ugh.
When I was working with my opera coach, one time I'm in there, and who comes in? Leontine Price. And if anyone knows, she's an African-American singer, coloratura, amazing voice.
Yes.
Anyway, I got a chance to do a few passages from Madame Butterfly with her.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't do it on stage, but I did it there.
But just to say
wonderful.
that you did that is incredible.
Yeah.
Your teachers were difficult on you. How long did you train? I'm just curious. So you started training at 20?
20.
Okay. And then how long did you actually train before you were you going out for shows while you were training?
Oh, yeah. I was still doing things.
That's amazing. Yeah. The tough cookies, right? These trainers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was. I mean, Jack Metz, my teacher, my coach, he was hard as can be. And to the point I felt like I couldn't sing.
Wow.
So I had an audition, and it's the first time he ever said this to me. He said, "Tom, if you sing half as good as you sing, you'd be better than anyone there." And I thought, what?
Yeah, because he never
Why
said
did-
anything,
You never
right?
told me these things before.
That's so funny. Well, I will say your voice is incredible. It still is. And I have always...
thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. I've always enjoyed performing with you. It's always been such a pleasure. Our voices are very different. Your dad used to say, I don't know how this works, because you're a legit theater and she's more rock and roll and blues. And how does this work? But we both kind of came together. No one knew that you could sing Phantom stuff and all of that. And yet here you were getting a huge award, Hall of Fame, country music. Incredible.
Well, I've sung with big bands too.
Yes, I know. Standards and all of that.
And I have to say this is something I want to share. As a big band singer, back in those days when you're singing all these songs they had introductions.
Yes.
So you'd be sitting on a chair in front of the horn section of the band.
Wow.
And when it was time to sing the song, you get up and go out there. Now, people are holding each other because...
they're dancing.
No, they're not dancing.
Oh,
at that
they're not
point.
dancing. Okay.
Because the introduction is usually, out of tempo.
Right. That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
once you do the introduction, then the rhythm kicks in and they start dancing.
Yes, I know. I love those
I
introductions.
love those days and that music.
Well, I can't believe it. We've run out of time.
You're kidding.
Thank you, honey, for being here with me. I so appreciate it. Tom Jepperson.
You're very welcome.
And what a pleasure. And, you'll come back and tell more stories. And everybody listening, please stay with me. We'll be right back.
You've explored the trails, stood in awe of the red rocks. Now, discover how Sedona became Sedona. The Sedona Heritage Museum tells the story of Red Rock country, from ancient cultures to today's vibrant community. It's interactive, family-friendly, and open year-round, indoors and out. Sedona Heritage Museum, preserving and sharing the soul of Red Rock country. Plan your visit at sedonamuseum.org or call 928-282-7038.
Take a deep breath, then let it go. At Sedona's New Day Spa, your escape begins the moment you arrive. Enjoy luxurious massages, rejuvenating facials, and native-inspired body treatments. Every moment is designed to restore balance and renew your spirit. Voted Sedona's Best Day Spa, this is more than self-care. It's your sanctuary. Book your experience today at SedonaNewDaySpa.com or call 928-282-7502.
When your project demands precision, experience, and trust, turn to Sefton Engineering Consultants. From expert civil engineering to construction management, we deliver real-world solutions that stand the test of time. With over 30 years in the business, Luke Sefton's team is committed to getting your project done right, on time, and on budget. Sefton Engineering Consultants. Reliable, experienced, personal. Learn more at SeftonEngineeringConsultants.com.
Here's more of Sedona's Backstage Pass with Chandra, presented by the Dahl Group.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I'm here with Lisa Dahl and then, of course, my husband, Tom Jepperson. Oh, do you hear that? I know what that means. So do you. It's my shameless Chandra spot. Today, Saturday, the 19th of July, after 6 years of hard work and lots of writing, we are filming Weird Detention. I am so excited. We have been rehearsals for the last 4 days and with our crew, and today's the day. Oh my God, it's so fantastic. Dreams really do come true, of course, with a lot of hard work and focus. And I broke away today. I did, to do the show, and I couldn't contain myself. I had to tell you, I'm running right back there. We're having a little break, and that's when I ran over. So for those of you who have been following us, we now have a Facebook page. I think I mentioned it last week, but I'm going to mention it again. On Facebook, Weird Detention, the movie. Please, when you go there, like it and also click on follow. They are two different things. Do both. We really appreciate it. And you will also find a link to our new GoFundMe page. I just want to tell you, all donations help. This is for post-production. We have another way that you can make a donation if you want a tax-deductible, if you want to get a tax deduction, I should say, for your donation, and that would be weirddetention.com. Okay, those are for you who want to give more than, say $25 or $20 or whatever. You could do that on the GoFundMe page, and the link is right there on Facebook. Remember, Weird Detention, the movie, is the Facebook page. Then we also have a YouTube channel, and you'll find it under Weird Detention. And on all of these, you're going to find videos from behind the scenes from our movie shoot. We've already put some of our cast members that have done some really cool videos. You'll meet our cast and our crew, and it's really fun. So make sure you check in, all right, on both of those. The GoFundMe page, the link, again, is on Facebook. And also you can see all these other things on the YouTube channel for Weird Detention. Why are we making this movie? Okay, we're making this film to help our teens learn how to communicate instead of just be on their phones all the time, with the intention to help stop the violence before it happens. WeirdDetention.com. And, of course, the Facebook page, Weird Detention, the movie. Come on, come and find us. Well, thank you so much for joining me again. And remember, you can find all of the shows of Sedona's Backstage Pass on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Oh, I'm so excited about that. I want to thank my sponsors, Sedona Heritage Museum, Sefton Engineering, Cleaner Quicker Car Wash, Sedona New Day Spa, and my presenting sponsor, The Dahl Group. I want to thank my guest, Lisa Dahl, also my lovely husband, Tom Jepperson. I should say Chef Lisa Dahl. I need to say it that way. Chef Lisa Dahl, and my lovely and wonderful talented husband, Tom Jepperson. I also want to thank my engineer and my producer, Ryan Thompson, who I am waving to right now as I say his name, and the station owner, Chuck Helstein. You guys rock. Remember, it's KAZM, Mellow Mountain Radio, 106.5 FM, and 780 AM. I got it right this time. Oh, my gosh. Now, I'm going to give you a little teaser. I never do that. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be really tired. I'm just going to mention this. I may sound energetic. I'm going to be really tired because, again, we start our film shoot today. We're in it. And I will have already accomplished all of the film shoot. We just finishing, right, next Saturday. So bear with me. But anyway, next week, I have my sponsor, Luke Sefton from Sefton Engineering, with some more wild stories because he's always got great stuff. And then we have the executive director of the Sedona Arts Center, Julie Richard. Oh, she's got some stories too. And so I want you to join me again every Saturday at 10 a.m. so you can hear these great stories at Sedona's Backstage Pass. See you next week.